Now let's discuss the addition and subtraction of two vectors. So there are two ways to add two vectors. One is the triangle law of addition and the other is the parallelogram law of addition. Both serve the same purpose and will give you the same result, but they're just two different methods and you basically just decide which one you're comfortable with. That's the beauty of maths. So the triangle law of addition. If two vectors u and v are represented by two sides AB and BC, so this basically means that the vector AB is equal to u and BC is equal to v, right? And they're the two sides of a triangle such that the terminal point of u coincides with the initial point of v. This is a very important thing to remember. The terminal side of u or the arrowhead of u coincides with the initial point of v or the tail of v. So the head of u coincides with the tail of v. Then the third side, AC, that goes from A to C, gives you the vector sum u plus v. So AB plus BC is equal to AC. Simple, really. And that just means u plus v is equal to AC. Here's an example. So this side, AB or u, and the terminal side of AB, which is this point here, whoops, it is the initial side of BC, right? The terminal point of AB is the initial side of BC. Simple. And BC is V. So if you draw a vector from A, the initial side of A, to the terminal point of C, that will give you AC, which is U plus V. But remember, this only works when the terminal side of B coincides with the when the terminal point of AB coincides with the initial point of BC, right? And basically the final stretch that connects the initial side of A with connects the initial side of AB with the terminal side of BC is the sum of the two vectors AB and BC. Simple. And another way to do this is, and let me just explain why we do this. So for example, if you didn't have this particular vector in this format, if you had it, let's say, in this format, that you had AB like this, and if you had BC like say this here, right? Then you could just take it from this side and put it on that side and connect them and use the triangle law of addition. But it's simpler if it's just given to you. The other way you can do this is with the parallelogram law of addition. And it says that if two vectors u and v are represented by two adjacent sides AB and AC of a parallelogram as shown in the figure, then the diagonal AD gives the sum or the resultant of AB and AC, right? So here's the thing. The two adjacent sides are AB and AC. So this is AB, this side here, and this is AC, both emerging from the same point A. And you need to find their sum. It says they have a common point A. They both have the same initial side. All you have to do now is make a parallelogram, right? So basically draw the vector AC, a parallel vector of AC actually, or an equal vector called BD, which is this here, right? And then just from D, connect the point D with point C. Oops, sorry. And now you have a parallelogram. So then you just connect the point A and the point D, and that vector AD with the initial side, with the initial point again at A and the terminal point at D, that will give you the sum of the vectors AB and AC, or U plus V. And that is the parallelogram law of addition. So you can use both of them with whichever one is more suitable for a particular question, whichever is easier. You can use both of them, honestly. Like, again, if you had this question, in which they asked you for the sum, you can just, like I told you earlier, this side AB, this one here, you can just shift it to the tail of C and draw CD like this, and that'll give you the method using the triangle law of addition. But you can also use this parallelogram law of addition, right? So yeah, that's the addition and subtraction of two vectors.